your family. It's good to see everyone here today. So last month, President Trump said he supports repealing the debt limit. So do I. So there we are, Donald Trump and Elizabeth Warren are singing from the same hymnal. Mr. Bessent, let's make it a trio. Do you agree with President-elect Trump that the debt limit should be repealed?
Senator Warren, first of all, I enjoyed our visit in your office and appreciate the fact that when I walked in, you said, let's talk about what we have in common, our love of Cape Cod, the Red Sox, and that addressing the affordability crisis and the housing shortage. So the debt limit is a very nuanced convention. What I would like to do is get back to you and President Trump. I'd like to do a survey of market participants with this amount of debt. It's very fragile equilibrium that we sell bonds in.
Mr. Bessent, forgive me for just a minute here, because this is the question about I'm not asking you whether or not we ought to increase our debt. I'm asking a very different question, and that is whether or not we should have a statute in place that says there's a debt limit that, if we don't increase the debt limit, would cause us to default. And that's not an economic analysis. In fact, let me ask you, I understand earlier you were citing the Congressional Budget Office. Have you seen the Congressional Budget Office projections of what would happen if the United States government defaulted on its debt? That is, if we hit the debt limit and just kept on going without raising it or eliminating it?
Yeah, look, Senator Warren, the United States is not going to default on its debt if I'm confirmed. But I will tell you that for people who don't understand the debt limit, it might be like taking out your handbrake in your car, that you can still hit the brakes, but it's one less feature.
But I thought you just said you'd never use it. So you're talking about a handbrake that appears to be there, but in fact is not connected to a braking system. It is literally never used, right?
I've never pulled a handbrake going 60 miles an hour in my car.
And the reason for that, I assume, is the enormous cost of a debt default. In fact, the Congressional Budget Office that I was asking you about a minute ago said that, or Moody's estimated, that a debt limit breach would cost the U.S. economy $12 trillion and cost 6 million people their jobs. I think this is the reason that President-elect Trump said that eliminating the debt limit is, quote, the smartest thing Congress could do. And I'd like for Congress to do the smartest thing, and that is eliminate the debt limit so we don't have this problem.
Well, Senator Warren, I will tell you that once President Trump takes office, and if I'm confirmed, if he wants to eliminate the debt limit, I will work with him and you on that.
Great, great, because I agree with President-elect Trump that the debt limit should be repealed. I note, however, right now that's not what congressional Republicans plan to do. Last month, they committed to raising the debt limit by another $1.5 trillion. So why do Republicans want to raise the debt ceiling? Because their plan is to shovel new tax cuts to billionaires, and that would increase the debt by more than $1 trillion just in the next 4-year period. During his first term, President Trump's only major legislative achievement was his 2017 tax cuts that mostly got sucked up by millionaires, billionaires, and giant corporations. Now, most of these cuts were good for only 8 years, so that Republicans who were designing them could claim that the cost was only $2 trillion. 8 years of cuts that added $2 trillion to the debt. Now we're talking about Republicans and President-elect Trump who want to give those same rich people and giant corporations more years of tax cuts. And I just want to be clear that we understand each other here, that I think it was Senator Warnock who asked you about, is there any billionaire rich enough who you wouldn't support a tax cut for going forward.
That I think it's unwise to single out any
Rich people?
any individual.
Okay, is there any group of billionaires? You can just pick a dollar figure and there can be more than one above that.
I could give you a glib answer, but I won't. But, you know, again, that's not where the money is. At one point when President Obama was debating Mitt Romney, the moderator said, "But sir, that would make collections go down." And he said, "Yeah, but it's about fairness." And I have to tell you, Senator Warren, I'm about collection.
I understand, but I like to think that fairness is about billionaires actually paying their fair share too. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Scott, welcome, or Mr. Bessent, welcome to our committee, and good to see you again, and thank you for your willingness to serve. It is certainly a sacrifice to you and your family, but I think it's actually an investment for the country. We need folks who are willing to sacrifice on behalf of a greater cause. The greater cause in this instance is generations of Americans you will likely never meet, but will be better off because we do the right thing